Welcome. In this lecture, you'll explore the foundational building blocks of Azure networking, virtual networks, and subnets. You will learn how to plan your address space using private IPv4 ranges, how subnets divide that space, and why careful planning is critical to avoid conflicts and support future growth. When you deploy resources like virtual machines, containers, or databases in Azure, they need a secure and isolated space to communicate. That's where virtual networks come in. You can think of a VNet like a virtual version of your on premises network, but hosted entirely in Azure. It enables secure communication between your Azure resources, the internet, and on premises networks via VPN or Express route. Inside a VNet, you divide the address space into subnets. Each subnet is a logical segment that isolates and organizes your resources. For example, a web subnet for front-end VMs, a database subnet for your SQL servers, a management subnet for jump boxes or monitoring agents. Each subnet helps you apply network security groups and route tables independently. When you are setting up a virtual network, VNet in Azure, one of your first tasks is to define its IP address space. This is similar to how you'd assign private IP ranges in an on-premises network. Although Azure supports both IPv4 and IPv6 for most scenarios, and especially for planning your internal network, you'll work primarily with IPv4. On the screen, you can see the official private IP ranges that are reserved for internal use under RFC 1918. These ranges are not routable over the public internet, making them ideal for building isolated, secure environments within Azure. Always stick to these private ranges when designing your VNets. This ensures your address space stays secure, non-conflicting, and easily routable within your organization. Avoid using public IP address ranges unless there's a specific need that's been validated and approved. Before you hit that create button in the Azure portal, pause and take a moment to plan your virtual network carefully. Solid planning now saves you from future headaches like IP address conflicts, wasted address space, and painful redesigns down the road. Start by choosing the right IP range for your needs. Think about how large your network might grow. For enterprise scale environments, you might reserve a broader range. For test environments, a smaller range will do. The goal is to right size your network from the start. Next, break your VNet into logical subnets. Each subnet should have a clear role, perhaps one for web servers, another for application logic, and a third for databases. This structure not only keeps things organized but also gives you better control over security and traffic flow. And don't forget, Azure reserves 5 IPs in each subnet, so account for that when sizing. If you're planning to connect this VNet with another Azure VNet or your on-premises network, be extra careful to avoid overlapping address spaces. Unique IPs are essential to prevent routing issues and ensure seamless connectivity. Finally, always plan for scale. Start with a large address space, like a /16, even if you don't need all of it now. Then carve out smaller subnets as needed. This approach gives you room to grow without re-architecting everything later. By thinking ahead, you set yourself up for a scalable, conflict-free, and future-ready Azure network. When you design your virtual network, don't think of subnets as just a way to organize IP addresses. They are a powerful tool for shaping your network security and architecture. By segmenting your resources into subnets, you gain precise control over traffic using network security groups, which help you filter and restrict access at the subnet level. You can also use service endpoints or private endpoints to securely connect to Azure services without exposing traffic to the public internet. On top of that, subnets give you the flexibility to define custom route tables, letting you control the flow of traffic across your environment. In short, the way you structure your subnets directly impacts your overall security posture, network performance, and even your cost efficiency. So, make each subnet count. So, what's your key takeaway? You now understand that creating a virtual network is one of the first and most important steps in building a secure and well structured Azure environment. By using private IPv4 address ranges, you keep internal communication isolated and secure. Dividing your VNet into subnets helps you organize workloads, apply security controls, and manage traffic effectively. But the real power lies in how thoughtfully you plan your IP ranges. Because good planning prevents conflicts, makes hybrid connections easier, and sets the stage for future growth. So, treat your VNet like the foundation of your cloud setup. When you design it with care, everything built on top of it will run more securely, efficiently, and reliably.